different agents or newer agents, or I'm not sure what it is, but we're losing a little bit of the connection of the person to person communication and care for the needs of our clients. I truly do think it's important to truly listen to what people want and need.
Welcome to the Dream Home Podcast, the show where real estate meets real talk. Hosted by John Nagle, a seasoned expert with over $7 billion in real estate financing experience. This podcast features top realtors, builders, and financial pros. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, we've got the tools to help you make smarter moves. Here's your host, John Nagle.
Welcome back to another episode of Dream Home Podcast, where we explore the communities, people, and programs that help turn your dream of home ownership into reality. I'm your host, John Nagle of CMG Home Loans, and today we're spotlighting a woman who's earned a reputation for making real estate personal, stress-free, and family-centered in beautiful Central Florida. I'm thrilled to be joined by Stacey Payne, a top producing realtor, educator, and community connector based in the Orlando area. Stacey is more than just a real estate agent. She's been a homeschool mom, an advocate for families relocating to Florida, and someone with deep knowledge of the hidden gems across the region, from townhomes to luxury homes. She specializes in everything from first-time home buying navigation to luxury listings and relocation. Whether it's finding a perfect neighborhood or scoring the ideal distressed property, Stacey brings unmatched charisma, hustle, and genuine care to every transaction. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn how Stacey's making a difference, one dream home at a time. Stacey, let's kick things off with a question I love to ask. What do you think is your real estate superpower? What sets you apart from the other agents in Central Florida?
Listening and answering the phone, getting to know your clients and asking tons of questions. I think that there's just a lot of different agents or newer agents, or I'm not sure what it is, but we're losing a little bit of the connection of the person to person communication and care for the needs of our clients. I truly do think it's important to truly listen to what people want and need.
Yes, that's a really good point. I mean, there are a lot of people, especially in the sales side of the business, that aren't such good listeners, and that's really important in narrowing down that selection that you're going to present to the buyer and getting them, touring on the correct home that's going to match their needs. So you work with all kinds of buyers, but especially families. What's something they often say after touring homes with you?
A lot of times we're looking for a specific school, or they have kids that are really into something, and we know that, okay, well, you're only in elementary school now or middle school now, but they have a strong desire to do something with, say, maybe engineering or performing arts. Mm-hmm. So let's look at the schools that have those magnet programs so that you're already close by. Do they love soccer, or do they love certain sports? Do we want to look at the schools that excel in those specific sports or have sports teams? Like, let's look at the communities that surround the different areas. Orlando has so many different areas that we should look and see what's best for your family.
Yeah, that's a great approach for sure, to help them target that and to think not just what's happening this year, but to think what's happening, years down the road as is through the education system that is going to best fit their family. So buying or selling a home can be a huge life transition. What's your approach when someone feels overwhelmed, especially if they're relocating or buying for the first time?
My approach is to definitely explain the different areas step by step, have it written down, have a conversation about it. So there's no uncertainty, so that then we can just lessen the nerves. of either moving from out of state or just moving to the other side of town. The home lending side could be stressful, but also just relocating and it's stress. It can be very stressful, but I do everything that I can do to mitigate the amount of stress as possible. I, I can go out and I can do videos of the homes so that they already have a little bit of an idea, explain everything that's around the home, all the where, your stores are and your schools are and entertainment. I think it's good just to explain everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I get a really good approach and definitely comforting to those folks of being able to see that video, like you say, before they tour the home, so they get a good sense of it to know, yes, this is somewhere I would like to go tour. So can you give us a story, maybe a time you helped someone through a major obstacle or turning point in their home journey?
Yeah, I have actually a couple of stories. I had this one woman call me and she was in tears and she was trying to navigate. I don't know what was going on with her and the agent trying to purchase a home. It didn't work out. It didn't go through. She was in tears. She's like, I think, I don't know what to do. So I was like, okay, let's just sit down. Let's look at everything. Found her home, made everything extremely easy. And funny story about her. So she's now already bought and sold that home into another new home. I've officiated her wedding. And then now she joked with me and it's like, can you become a doula? Because I'm pregnant, which she just told me last week, which is amazing. But it's not just getting to know these families as, just the business person, the transaction, but it's truly following them through like big, huge, monumental moments in their life.
Yes, that is totally awesome for sure. So one of my favorite parts of the show, tell us about a client experience that left a mark on you, something awesome that reminds you why you love what you do.
I always circle back to that one client, but I want to think of someone else, of a family that moved to Florida. They were a homeschool family. I met them at a some random meetup for homeschoolers, and I got to know her, and she was like, we're just having the hardest time trying to navigate real estate and find an area that we would want to live in. And I found them this absolutely stunning home, and they're super happy. Introduced them to other homeschool families. They're still actually homeschooling to this day. We've switched over to public school since then, but we still keep in touch, and I'm watching their kids grow up, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Especially kind of like you say, at this random place that you met them through the homeschooling community. That's an awesome story.
Yeah.
So that's very powerful. What keeps you inspired in this business day after day?
Smiles, the smiles, the happiness, knowing, that they were able to, get into a neighborhood that they absolutely love, and how I can, help them navigate. Orlando's huge, so there's so many areas that you could pick from, and just keeping things as easy as possible, and knowing that I have their best interest in mind, not only financially to make sure that they're making a good decision, but also they're happy, just their happiness in the area that people end up in.
Yeah, that is super rewarding, isn't it, to get them into the right fit for their family and their home.
Mm-hmm.
So you've built a business around more than just showing houses. What tools or resources do you use that really enhance the customer experience?
Working with a good lender is always extremely important. to keep things stress-free. The more that they go through with the loan officer in the beginning, makes the rest of the transaction go smooth, because in the beginning, that's before you even found the home. So let's do that first. And then after that, once we find the home, then you just pack and just do what you need to do, because the stress now, which I wouldn't call stress if everything is being done correctly, is really in the hands of your title, your lender, and your realtor. I do use a utility concierge, so they just set up everything for you, all your utilities and things of that nature, which is really helpful. So it really it takes everything off of your plate.
Yeah, that is awesome. That utility concierge is definitely a huge benefit, trying to navigate through all the different, choices and selections you need to make to get yourself set up with the utility. So that's definitely a nice benefit. And what about marketing? Your social media presence is strong. How has that played into your helping clients?
That took me a little bit to get used to. I've always been really shy to get on the camera, but if you fall down the rabbit hole of swiping, and you realize the amount of ridiculousness that's on there, and I thought, I'm, just another human putting my face on social media. So I get excited about things. I'm like, let's do a video about it. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Oh, I keep getting the same question. Let me just get on and talk about that, what my answer is. And then maybe it could help more people. I'm getting more and more used to being in front of the camera.
Yeah, it's definitely fun. And then people do like being able to learn that way, and learn on a video basis, where you can do it, from anywhere on your smartphone. And so I can see where it's definitely a strong platform has helped, you to, like you say, answer those questions that you're going to get every time anyway. Then they know that ahead of time when they get ready to move forward with you on finding their perfect dream home.
Oh, absolutely. People are hungry and they want a certain food, or they're not sure where to go. I get that call a lot. I think a lot of people know, like, you want Vietnamese food? Let's call Stacey. Where should we go?
That's a good one. That's definitely above and beyond, right?
Yeah.
That's a great service to have. So I'll remember that next time I'm in Orlando. I'll know how to who to call, right?
Oh, I'll tell you. I know it all. I got all of it.
So let's walk through what a buyer and seller can expect when they work with you. What's the journey like from first contact to closing?
On the seller side, first contact is, I love to visit the home. I want to see, show me all the good and the bad of the home. Is there anything that needs to be repaired? I like to give a little bit of homework. We'll talk about price. We'll look at some other homes that have sold in the neighborhood or close by, so that they could really see why I have a suggested sales price. And then when we get ready for photos, I really like to go through the home, move things around, just kind of help stage it. I'll try to use, as many of your things as possible, and just move things around so that when the photos are taken, they just look perfect. Removing all of the personal items, the photos, magnets on the fridge, things of that nature. We're getting her show ready, is what I like to say. And I just think that's helpful, because sellers don't always know exactly what that means and what needs to be moved. And then just tons of marketing to get the home sold for as quickly as possible. The fastest amount of time, quickest amount of time, and for the most amount of money, right? That's where we're at. For the buyer side is a full consultation, everywhere from being comfortable with a certain price. Do you want an HOA? Do you not want an HOA? What are your likes? Do you have children? Do you have pets? And just going through everything on their day-to-day lives, just to make it easier, to help them figure out exactly what area would be best for them, and what would be more, and what can you afford, and how can we make that work?
Yep. Well, that's awesome. So if someone is on the fence, maybe they think the market's too tough right now, what would you tell them?
The market today, it is tough, but it's more tough on the sellers than it is on the buyers. Now, I understand that interest rates are a little bit high, and there's a lot of buyers that are waiting for the interest rates to go down or the uncertainty when we, talk about politics and this and that. But guess what? We all need a home to live in. Interest rates will never remain the same for too long. And if you can afford it today, do it today. Because the second that interest rates go down, all the buyers that have been waiting will all be out at the same time. And then what? It's going to drive prices higher. More buyers will be out. You're going to have less leverage with asking for inspections or for sellers' concessions if you need help with your closing costs or down payment or any of those scenarios is going to be less likely to work in your favor if you wait.
Yeah, that is a great point, because right now you are able to get seller concessions and help with those closing costs, where as a couple of years ago that just wasn't happening, and you had the multiple offer situation a couple of years ago, and escalating offers and things like that. So I agree with you 1,000%. Now is the time to buy. You're in a great position, and you're going to get the best price right now, and you're going to get the benefit of owning that home, the benefit of living in that home, and then over time the appreciation and the benefit of paying down the principal in that home, just like a savings account. So there's so many benefits of moving ahead now, for sure.
So many, yes.
Yeah. So Stacey, thank you so much for sharing your passion, stories, and strategies with us today.
Yep.
Your dedication for helping families thrive in Central Florida really shines through. For our listeners, if you're thinking of buying or selling in the Orlando area, especially if you're a family looking for that perfect school district or hidden gem neighborhood, Stacey Payne is someone you'll definitely want to connect with. You can find all her links in the show notes or follow her on Instagram at ps.orlandorealestate. And if you need to help exploring financing or getting pre-approved, I'd love to help. Visit dreamhomepodcast.com or reach out to me at CMG Home Loans. Don't forget to subscribe to Dream Home Podcast, hit the notification bell on YouTube, and share this episode with someone thinking about making a move. Thanks for tuning in to the Dream Home Podcast. See you next time. And Stacey, thanks again so much. It was great having you on, and appreciate your time to work with us on this.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the Dream Home Podcast, hosted by John Nagle. Ready to take the next step toward your dream home? Visit www.dreamhomepodcast.com for resources, tips, and expert advice. If you enjoyed today's episode, subscribe, leave a review, and join us next time for more real estate insights and mortgage tips. Until then, happy home hunting.